Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight in our news.
Bahamas Air executives explain the 2.5 days of chaos at the airline.
Meanwhile, the PHA is breaking its silence on the death of a dialysis patient. Plus, the health minister slams the country as an unhealthy nation.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight, Bahamas Air executives today offering an apology, an explanation and a promise to conduct a post-mortem assessment of the chaos that ensued at Bahamas Air late last week and into the weekend. Bahamas Air Managing Director Tracy Cooper telling the press that the airline's operations have returned to normal, but also noting that the challenges which resulted in massive delays will likely have a significant financial impact on the company. Jasmine Brown reports.
Cooper says the 2.5 days of chaos at Bahamas Air wasn't all the airline's fault, as he insisted will no doubt have a huge financial impact on Bahamas Air.
When we run into this sort of a thing, there's always a financial impact. You got to understand that we're not just talking about the feeding of the passengers, which is we're talking hundreds now. You're just not talking about the vouchers that we provide as compensation because of the delays. But we also talk about the overtime that we provide to the staff because we had them working 24 hours. So in a 2 or 3 day period like this, it could be a significant amount to the airline.
During a press conference at Bahamas Air headquarters this morning, Cooper said the financial impact of last week's massive delays will be tallied in the airline's post-mortem report. The Bahamas Air Managing Director, who was flanked by members of the airline's executive team, spoke days after the fiasco left hundreds of passengers stranded for hours in Florida and the Family Islands. The travel nightmare lasted from Thursday to Sunday. Cooper said the delays were caused by a combination of a massive weather disturbance on Thursday and complications from a power failure that impacted the navigational system at Lynden Pindling International Airport and air traffic control.
You have to understand, particularly on some of the days, if on a Friday afternoon we couldn't fly because we were told that there were problems with the radar, then it's difficult to talk about how you're going to, here's your adjusted schedule, when we ourselves were trying to understand what we could or could not do. On Saturday, it was even worse because every time we sent an airplane out there or we tried to get an airplane off the gate, it was being held up for 45 minutes or an hour. So it was a dynamic situation of which we had to do constant planning.
In addition to that, Cooper said there were issues with 2 of Bahamas Air's jets. He added that despite being roasted in the court of public opinion, the issues the airline experienced were beyond Bahamas Air's control and responsibility.
Really, this was just not Bahamas Air. As a lot of people have been saying, this is all Bahamas Air's fault. We're not pointing fingers. It isn't that. As we try to what we do from time to time is whatever comes our way, we try to fix it. It's just that over the past Thursday and Friday and Saturday, there was just a lot that kept coming at us that was beyond the airline's control. And we just had to adjust ourselves as we went along.
In the midst of the chaos over the last few days, scores of angry passengers took to social media to complain about the delays and the poor communication. Cooper apologized to those customers.
We would just like the public to know that it was not the fact that Bahamas Air was just delinquent, but really there were mitigating circumstances that caused Bahamas Air not to be able to operate as it should have.
Cooper also thanked staff for working around the clock to ensure operations got back to normal as soon as possible. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
As government prepares for a shantytown legal battle in the new year, residents of one of those communities are expressing uncertainty over their living arrangements. With Christmas hours away, several shantytown dwellers we spoke with say they aren't sure it'll be a merry one.
Tomorrow is a holiday. I don't see no happiness there. No happiness there.
This Christmas season, there's lots on the minds of shantytown residents as their living arrangements hinge on the outcome of a pending court battle.
When people have happy, you could feel it. But I don't see that. I don't see no happiness coming up for tomorrow.
If government had its way, the Montgomery Avenue shantytown off Cowpen Road would have been destroyed sometime after August 10th. That was the deadline given by government to residents of 8 shantytown communities to pack their things and leave. However, a court injunction granted to 177 shantytown residents and a company called Respect Our Homes Limited means government's bulldozers will stay parked for now. Residents like Pierre Etienne say while his home is safe during the holidays, he struggles to understand where he will go if government's eviction comes through in the new year.
The people who have been working for $200 weekly could pay $3,500 for the work for the year. Plus, they have to find money to pay you rent, $600 monthly. Tell me something. Think about that.
Representing another school of thought was 53-year-old Pheno Santil. The landscaper says he's happy to stay in the shantytown as long as he can. However, if the time comes to leave, he says his choice is simple.
If they say work hard, I cannot say no. You know, that's government, you see. People have to listen to government. Government is boss. You understand what I'm saying? If government say move, I have to move. If he say live couple month or couple years again, I still live in.
Despite Phenol's apparent optimism, many residents say Christmas isn't a happy time in their village. On top of the stress brought on by the uncertainty in their living arrangements, some we spoke to lamented their inability to reward their children, especially those who perform well in school.
They have good report. That nice good report. But they call me, Daddy, what you give me for the Christmas? I can't give no answer. They turned my kid from school for the money. First school I can't pay. But I have to do sacrifice to pay government money.
I ain't get nothing that give me your child. The Christmas, the child, they make me happy, the report card. I've had the last child, they made 3 months ago, because they asked me for something. Because I ain't getting none, they give it to them. Say, Mommy, why you ain't giving it? I say, I ain't get it. I ain't weak.
And while Leah, a mother of 6, is sad not to be able to treat her children on Christmas, she says she is grateful for the simple things in life.
Christmas come, I'm happy, that's why I see the Christmas. I ain't in the hospital. I ain't sick, I ain't do nothing wrong. That's why I'm so happy to do the Christmas.
A 25-year-old man who died last week after being turned away from receiving dialysis treatment was non-compliant with his regimen, according to the Public Hospitals Authority.
The PHA said in a statement that Neil Johnson, also known as Neil Bethel, who started dialysis treatment in October, missed 5 treatment dates in December. Officials were responding to family members who claimed last week that the young man became gravely ill and died after being turned away from the dialysis unit. The PHA statement reads, at the commencement of his treatment, Mr. Johnson received the life and death implications of the scheduling requirements of his treatment plan. Records retrieved from PMH revealed that he was non-compliant. During the month of December alone, Mr. Johnson missed scheduled appointments on the 3rd, 7th, 10th, and contrary to media reports, he also missed his appointment on the 14th of December. When Mr. Johnson presented on December 17th for treatment, all available treatment stations were in use and he could not be accommodated due to a shortage of staff in the dialysis unit. He was clinically assessed in line with protocols and given another appointment date.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a man who reportedly drowned near Potter's Key Dock on Sunday. According to reports, the man was seen sitting on the edge of the dock shortly before 3 p.m. Sunday when he fell into the water. Bystanders pulled the man from the water and began performing CPR. EMS personnel transported him to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Police say they do not suspect foul play at this time. However, an autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. And as we approach the end of 2018, Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands says, unfortunately, the Bahamas remains an unhealthy nation. In an interview with Our News, Sands says poor decision-making has caused for an increase in certain diseases, cutting many lives short. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
According to the health minister, for a country whose population is less than 400,000, the Bahamas can do better.
We have made health choices that make us a very unhealthy people.
Before stacking your plate with all the stuffing and desserts you can eat, you may want to consider this. According to the health minister, diabetes, prediabetes, and obesity are playing a big role in reducing the quality of life for Bahamians.
The last international ranking of the 190 countries in the World Health Organization or the United Nations, we are down about 130 in terms of the quality of health of Bahamians. That puts us in company with some pretty dubious countries as it relates to their economies. So we're looking like sub-Saharan Africa and other places.
According to Sands, the age-old practice of proper diet and exercise that's always preached is a great start.
Let me put it this way. That will go a very long way to changing our health profile. It's the choices that we make. It is the behaviors that we have adopted. And I say we, because I'm certainly included in that. And this is despite the fact that I work out 4 days a week.
But Sands said it's not all bad, as it appears more and more Bahamians are becoming health conscious.
And so people are talking about eating properly. People are talking about exercise. And if you look at the streets of New Providence and other islands, Grand Bahama and other places, the number of people that you see sweating, moaning, groaning, jumping on a daily basis is increasing. So the message is getting out there.
For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Still to come on Our News, political and community leaders share their hopes for 2019, plus gift ideas for last-minute Christmas shoppers. Stay tuned.